Okay. So what you can see on the screen right now, what I'm talking about, is the program for the International Conference from Tonduk University, Innovations in the Social Sciences Humanities, the second edition, 2021 edition. We'll start with the registration, the opening ceremony, and all of that. But the first keynote is Professor Sarab Dubey from Colegio de Mexico in Mexico City. He's a scholar of South Asia in history and so on. He's worked on Dalits and interpretation, subaltern studies, and so on. And a great speaker and a really impressive star for our conference. Alongside the second keynote in the same session, Professor Nikos Papasturgiadis, who's Australian scholar professor at the University of Melbourne, going to speak about cosmopolitanism. His work is really super. You might have seen him a couple of weeks ago speaking, launching a book on John Berger, or giving the inaugural John Berger lecture in Melbourne and launching a book. So they're the two keynotes in the morning. Then we have 3 parallel sessions. I guess I won't speak so much about the parallel sessions because there's too many and we'll take long, but look how interesting they are. Basically, in this conference, there are 4 different themes, but only ever 3 sessions at a time. The themes are tourism, media anthropology, anthropology sociology, and social work. So you see 3 here from social work, and because it's on across the page, you see the first talks there, and Carl Winnock and Jay Murphy and Dohana, they are in panels of 3. So they're the first of what will then be in the next page. You see here. So the continuation of that first panels with panel 1 in tourism is this Na, and then Nengi and Wenchun Wu. In the panel that I'm chairing, after Jay Murphy, is Fiza Vasudeva, Nick Bhakdal, and Ratan Kumar Roy. Fiza Vasudeva and Nick Bhakdal both spoke last time at the conference as well. And in the session on social work, there's a paper with 5 authors, I think, following the other one, and Winti Min from Remembrance to Recreation, Memory of European Houses in Urban Landscape, Manila and Saigon. So I've read that paper and it looks really interesting. I've read all the papers, but this one looks particularly interesting. They're all pretty good. But I, unfortunately, because I'm chairing another one, I won't be able to see that. If someone can go to it and give me a feedback, that'd be good. Then there's a break, lunch break, and then we have a talk from Professor Win Hu Min, who's co-chair of the conference. And he's speaking on the main challenges of Vietnamese families nowadays in the coming years. Good paper as well, really interesting material. The other keynote in this afternoon, after lunch session is Anna Broy Chowdhury. He spoke at the last ISSH 2019, and he's talking about the Rohingya minority issue in Myanmar, Bangladesh, and conditions there. That session is chaired by Professor Mai, Leithi Mai, our head of sociology. And then the afternoon of the Friday, we have 3 parallel sessions. Again, I'm chairing the middle one. Then Atay Juan is to go to session with Amatesh Mukhopadhyay talking about the Sundarbans, Doting and Tan, agriculture supply chains, and then Tran and Han on virtual tourism. I've got a Bengali session pretty much, or Bengal and Sri Lanka about politics, Bangladesh post 2013, the Rohingyas again, Cox's Bazar, that'll be interesting. and by Reza Habib. And then the conflict in Sri Lanka after the war. So I'm interested to hear from Debopriya Shome. The other session on social work, you can see there's stress, COVID-19, hospital workers, and some of these are our own colleagues. You'll see Trang, for example. All right, then the second session in the afternoon, chair is Innovations, Media, Innovation, Sociology, Anthropology. So I'm on a different stream now, and tourism. Again, Sashwati Das and Datreya Ghosh and Michelangelo Paganopoulos. He's someone you might have read some of his work before, writing anthropology. I've got a great session, Sally Uyen Win from the postgraduate here in Ho Chi Minh City. Pradeep Baxi, he's a Bengali scholar on Marx and Buddhism. And then Marcelo Mosto, who's a must-see. He's a must-see. He's a Marxist scholar of some huge note. In the tourism session, a couple of blokes from La Trobe University, their last day at La Trobe University, Rui Hastings and Vincent Alessi. They are really interesting guys, and we are doing a project with them in TDT and them about cultural consumption of the city. And then Winti Noko on tourism in Hoi An, some really great parts of the paper. And then Taison on tourism as well. The next session is the next day. That was the last session for that day. So what time does that end? Let me see. Finishes at 6 p.m. So it's a long day, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The next day in the morning at 8:30, Professor Ishita Banerjee from Bengal, but also teaches in the Colegio de Mexico in Mexico City, talking on food in Bengal. And then Jonathan Bella, who's from New York, he'll be zooming in from New York, on the decolonization of money. He's a media theorist. His last book was about media and murder. Murder is the message. His book was part of the thinking behind what I was talking today about the media and storytelling. Then a break, then 3 sessions again. Maybe I'll rush through them. Tourism, media anthropology, social work. I'll note Peter Hudis giving the talk in the session I'm chairing. He is the translator of the several volumes of the complete works of Rosa Luxemburg into English. So that's a really important session or paper within that session. He has to be in the morning session because he's in Chicago, so it will be a crazy time for him to talk at any other part of the day. But that promises to be good and interesting. Then the afternoon keynotes are Professor Scott McQuire. He's from the University of Melbourne as well, on Networked City, digital staff, right? And he's a great scholar and has spoken at TDTU before and contributed to our planning for the media anthropology sociology BA we'll be starting. Then Professor Daisy Tam from Hong Kong. She works on food and community food recycling. So it promises to be great as well. Her work is amazing. Sessions on media anthropology, sociology anthropology, and sociology anthropology more. My 3, Jack Bolton, he spoke in the 30-minute methods recently, so he's really good. He's doing a more literary thing in this one. Manish Ghosh, who's an old comrade from Bengal, working on film, but this is slow cinema as travel. And Jeremiah Morlock, who's I suppose a cultural theorist, sociologist, works in the US on Marcuse, the German theory. In the session chaired by Prof. Mai, there's Joe Buckley on unions in Ho Chi Minh, in Vietnam, actually. Another paper by Pradeep Bakshi related to that, and then two from some Russian scholars. And then the next session in the afternoon of the Saturday, I've got Anusha Roy, who's a very interesting writer, pretty wild stuff describing media and newscasting. Saranas Ponksnis, I don't know how really to pronounce his name, but he's someone I've been in touch with for a long time who works on India as well. And then Olivia Guntarik and Oliver Vodeb, also involved with TDTU in a project on food and experience in the city. They are like Haskins and Alessio earlier. They are involved with the project with TDT, which will bring students from Melbourne, RMIT Melbourne, not RMIT Vietnam, RMIT Melbourne, to visit us here in Ho Chi Minh once COVID makes it possible. The other sessions, I don't know, maybe significant is Professor Mai's talk on mobile communication as appropriate institutional means to contribute to effective dialogue in the enterprise. So again, union related. And Kim Skypes, Stephen R. Skypes there, sociology analysis of climate change. And then there should be one more session at the end of Saturday. Here we go. Yeah, and two panels. I would single out John Grech here from Malta, out of the line of sight. He's talking about his grandfather. Very interesting. And then Runa Chakraborty, Ponksnis, women and video platform. And Gökçe Sanur from Istanbul, Turkey. And then a final plenary. So I don't know, just reading through that is it's an awesome number of papers and people presenting and interesting topics. I should mention Leti Kim Dung, this paper on parents in internet usage is really quite relevant. And the marine tourism one, interesting. There's so many different topics of interest. You should be able to find the abstracts for the conference coming up on the website really soon, or have them sent to you if you sign on as a participant. It's $15 for participants, but if there's, I think there are some of the students in this class in particular are already involved. But if you're just a participant from outside, I guess I'm saying this to everyone who's listening to the video later on, get on the website, ISSH2021.tdtu.edu.vn, and you can find how to register and how to join. And I'll see you in the sessions. Okay? Thank you very much. It's going to be good.